Number 8. Amy Locane. On the night of June the 27th of 2010, American actress Amy Locane was involved in a deadly car accident in Montgomery, New Jersey. The crybaby star had been traveling at a speed of 53 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone when she barreled into another vehicle, making a left-hand turn into a driveway. The resulting collision claimed the life of 60-year-old Helen Seaman, a passenger in the vehicle Locane hit. It was subsequently determined that the actress's blood alcohol level had been 3 times the legal limit at the time of the crash. She was charged with aggravated manslaughter and assault by automobile. After a Somerset County jury found Locane guilty, she was sentenced to 3 years behind bars, which she served at Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in Union Township, New Jersey. Locane, who'd previously cultivated a burgeoning career in Hollywood during the early 1990s, was paroled in June of 2015. However, the following year, a New Jersey appeals court began re-examining her original sentence, and in 2019 she was resentenced to an additional 5 years in prison. That ruling was then reversed by a different judge who sent the case back for another round of sentencing proceedings. Finally, in the late summer of 2020, after a judge determined that her initial punishment had been too lenient, Locane was sentenced to another 8 years in state prison, 6 of which she'd need to serve before being eligible for early release. Today's featured fan shout-out is Instagram follower RobBaker759. To appear in our next video, take a pic rocking your latest merch from theywillkillyou.com and send it in to us on Instagram today. Number 7. Lilo Brancato Jr. A former member of the Sopranos ensemble cast was arrested in December of 2005 for allegedly taking part in a botched home invasion that resulted in the death of an off-duty police officer. On the 10th of the month, 29-year-old Lilo Brancato Jr. and his accomplice, Stephen Armento, attempted to burglarize a vacant house at 3119 Arno Place in the Bronx borough of New York City. The two men were subsequently confronted by 28-year-old Daniel Enchartagui, a 3-year NYPD veteran who lived next door. While Enchartagui awaited backup, he was shot at by Brancato and Armento and eventually died from his resulting injuries at Jacobi Medical Center. During the ensuing homicide investigation, it was determined that Armento had been the one to fire the fatal rounds, and he was thus charged with first-degree murder, for which he ultimately received life without parole. Brancato faced a second-degree murder charge for his role in the deadly incident. Following his 2008 trial, the actor was acquitted of murder but found guilty of first-degree attempted burglary. He was consequently sentenced to 10 years behind bars. In 2013, Brancato was paroled and subsequently returned to acting. Number 6. Jerry Falwell Jr. Following the death of his televangelist father in 2007, Jerry Falwell Jr. was appointed as the president of Liberty University, a private evangelical school in Lynchburg, Virginia. Although his tenure as an academic administrator was fraught with constant friction, the controversy surrounding Falwell came to a head in 2020. In May, he uploaded an anti-mask mandate tweet that included a picture of Virginia Governor Ralph Northam wearing blackface. The post was widely condemned as insensitive, and Falwell issued an apology the following month. 2 months later, Falwell posted a picture of himself to his Instagram account in which his pants were unzipped and his hand was placed around the waist of a young woman whose shorts were similarly unzipped. He was also holding a glass of dark liquid. Falwell faced heavy criticism for the picture, as partial undress and consumption of alcohol were actions that directly violated the Liberty University Code of Conduct. In the aftermath, the school announced that he'd be taking an indefinite leave of absence from his administrative position. Later that month, Falwell announced in a public statement that his wife, Becky Tilley, had an improper relationship with their pool attendant several years earlier. Some of Tilley's intimate encounters with her lover allegedly took place while Falwell watched them, sometimes in the same room and other times via surveillance cameras. Falwell ultimately resigned from the Liberty University presidency and then sued the school for damaging his reputation. He eventually dropped the suit, but in April of 2021 was countersued by the university for $40 million for breach of contract and fiduciary duty. Number 5. Amanda Peterson. After her rise to Hollywood fame with the release of the teen romance film Can't Buy Me Love in 1987, actress Amanda Peterson largely faded from the public consciousness before experiencing a precipitous downfall in her later years. The initial signs of trouble for the former starlet arose in October of 2000 when she was arrested for the first time. Over the course of the next 5 years, Peterson was arrested twice more and reportedly spent 3 months in a Colorado jail in the fall of 2005. On March the 10th of 2010, the 80s icon got into a physical altercation with a woman at a bar in Fort Collins, Colorado. The resulting police report detailed how Peterson had appeared intoxicated and was slurring her speech. Her boyfriend told investigators that she was taking medication for bipolar disorder and ADD, and thus wasn't supposed to be drinking. She faced a third-degree assault charge in connection to the incident. Peterson's 5th and final arrest came in May of 2012. The Weld County Sheriff's Office in Greeley took her into custody for DUI and narcotics possession. In the wake of her fall from grace, Peterson's mugshots garnered considerable attention. Her sunken appearance starkly contrasted with the public image she'd previously cultivated as an attractive Hollywood actress. In the summer of 2015, Peterson was found dead in her Greeley apartment where she'd lived alone for the final 3 years of her life. The Weld County coroner's report cited an accidental morphine overdose as her cause of death. Number 4. R. Kelly. Chicago R&B artist Robert Kelly, widely known as R. Kelly, rose to international fame in the 1990s and went on to sell more than 75 million records worldwide during the course of his career. Much of his time in the public eye, however, has been marred by continued controversy and criminal allegations. Even during the beginning stages of his music career, Kelly was often bombarded with accusations that he abused underage fans and manipulated them into inappropriate relationships. In 2002, he was indicted by the Cook County State's attorney on charges of possessing illegal videotapes, but he wasn't ultimately convicted upon going to trial in 2008. Although his reputation was irreparably tarnished by the widespread stories of his misconduct, Kelly avoided legal consequences until the 2019 release of the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which featured testimonies from many of the artist's accusers. The series prompted a re-examination of Kelly's abuse allegations, leading to his arrest on federal charges in July of 2019. His contract with RCA Records was consequently terminated, and in 2021, he was tried in Brooklyn federal court. Following his subsequent convictions for violations of the Mann Act and racketeering, Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The following year, the disgraced artist was tried in Chicago federal court, leading to several more criminal convictions. His sentencing hearing was scheduled to take place in early 2023. As of recent updates, Kelly was incarcerated at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago. Number 3. Felicia Taylor. Florida police arrested 57-year-old Felicia Taylor following an alleged hit-and-run incident in Palm Beach in the summer of 2022. The woman, a retired newscaster, had previously risen to prominence as an anchor correspondent for CNN International's World Business Today and also served as the co-host of Retirement Living TV's Daily Cafe until November of 2009. Her fall from public grace unfolded after a pair of traffic-related incidents, one of which occurred on July the 28th, when she forcefully struck the rear bumper of a black Ford being operated by an unidentified 24-year-old man. The impact caused the other motorist to violently strike the steering wheel, inflicted injuries to his head and neck. Following the collision, however, Taylor fled the scene in her Mercedes. Eyewitnesses reported seeing the woman, a fixture of the New York City, Hamptons, and Palm Beach communities, drive past the scene of the accident twice without stopping to provide the requisite information or render aid to her wounded victim. She was eventually taken into custody and booked into Palm Beach County Jail on charges of careless driving and leaving the scene of an accident involving injury, to which she pleaded not guilty. Taylor's 2022 arrest was the second of her post-retirement years. Back in 2015, she drunkenly sideswiped a parked vehicle in the Hamptons, resulting in an aggravated DWI charge. Law enforcement ended up taking her to Southampton Hospital for medical evaluation due to her extremely intoxicated state. Number 2. Maya Campbell. Former actress, singer, and model Maya Campbell, best known for starring opposite LL Cool J on the sitcom In the House, was arrested twice within the span of a year for causing a fracas at 2 different fast food restaurants. The first incident occurred in January of 2015 when Campbell was taken into police custody for launching a profanity-laced tirade inside an Atlanta Burger King. She was alleged to have verbally assaulted a child whom she accused of stealing her wallet before cursing out the arresting officer. The following month, police were called to a Waffle House in Riverdale, where a drunken Campbell allegedly caused a disturbance and refused to leave the restaurant. The shamed former star made headlines yet again in 2017 following the emergence of a video in which she was shown asking strangers for drugs at a gas station. The shocking clip went viral and prompted a social media appeal from LL Cool J to help find his former co-star and get her the mental health and drug addiction treatment she desperately needed. Number 1. Kanye West. International pop culture icon Kanye West came under heavy fire in 2022 after making a series of controversial statements on social media. The famed rapper, producer, and fashion designer took to Instagram to express his belief that fellow musician Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy, was being controlled by the Jews. The remarks were widely condemned as anti-Semitic, and West's Instagram account was subsequently locked. After previously not using Twitter for nearly 2 years, West uploaded a tweet on October the 8th in which he stated that he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The hip-hop legend consequently faced severe backlash from the general public, as well as other celebrity figures. The controversy caused him to lose sponsorships, business partners, and gravely tarnished his already checkered public image. His professional collaborations with Vogue, Balenciaga, Gap, and Adidas were terminated as a result of his offensive comments. Later on in October, Van Lathan, a former TMZ employee, claimed that West had said that he loved Hitler and the Nazis during a previous interview with the outlet, but that the alarming statements had been edited out. Around that same time, reports surfaced that an episode of LeBron James's talk show, The Shop, would not be released due to anti-Semitic statements West allegedly made during filming. West fought back against his critics, claiming that he'd become the target of the Jewish media. On October the 22nd, members of the neo-Nazi Goyim Defense League hung a banner over a Los Angeles highway overpass that read, "Kanye is right about the Jews." As a consequence of West's anti-Semitism controversy, Forbes detailed how he'd lost his billionaire status, estimating his reduced net worth to be approximately $400 million. Thanks for watching. Would you rather spend an entire year in a rehab facility for a drug problem you don't actually have, or retake the 5th grade? Let us know in the comments section below.